about these things, I never act on.
I'm gonna call the finance committee meeting to order at 6 p.m.
No, Darren tonight.
Darren will be here, he said he's gonna be a little late, he asked me to open it, so
Okay.
I'm doing it.
All right, and I can open for select board at 6 p.m. You should be a 5-member board. Leah is on Zoom. I believe Alex will be on Zoom as well, so hopefully he'll be jumping on shortly.
Well, yeah, I think you might. Oh crap, it's not.
Does anybody else receive emails from him?
I don't get it to my Gmail, I get it to my charter.
It's Yahoo. So
I noticed that
if
today.
I, it's,
did notice it today.
BCC, no, that shouldn't be showing, right? BCC shouldn't be showing,
No, this came.
but it
Oh,
says
yes,
Heather.
I see that one, I think she writes it in there so she knows who it is.
Right, okay,
I think that's what she writes it there for.
okay, but this says it's from Heather, and I open it, and that should say Heather.
And then it says,
Mine says.
So it hasn't been fully been.
that's the very
Ready for
expensive
hell or high water?
Just about, come Sunday, you mean?
Yeah.
You know, there was a rumor around town that Tommy was gonna ply everybody's driveway out after the storm. I don't know who started it.
Right after he pays all the water and sewer bills, that's next. I've been trying to start that for years.
And the tax bill.
No, I wouldn't ask for taxes, but the water and sewer bills.
We've asked somebody else to take care of that.
Yes.
Leah or Alex, can you try talking?
Yeah, I just popped that.
I can pull them, I'll take a while.
Yes, I can try.
Okay, now we got it. It's a little loud, so we'll adjust. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I hope it didn't startle you. I told you
Oh,
they were
but
coming.
first
No,
should-
it's okay. Startled, no,
Mine
not
don't.
startled.
When I click on it, I'm like,
Wired up my shoulder today, cleaned out the driveway.
Whoever that was.
Almost
Supposed to be there.
Yes,
which is
that was
probably
very
what it is. Is this the wage and classification schedule?
No, it's the,
Yeah.
impact statement.
Oh, yeah,
Not
that's
that I
why.
haven't been
Probably-
doing it, it just got done later today than usual. And then tomorrow I have
Maybe I'll just shut down my computer.
audio.
Audio.
Adios.
And Leah and Alex, you can hear us okay? Leah, are you talking? Leah or Alex, can we do a sound check one more time?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Leah, how about you? Now again? Okay, we got you now. Okay, so,
Yeah, you've got to speak up.
okay. All right, so we're all called to order, so we can get started library first?
Yeah.
This chair's pretty comfortable.
No.
That's all right. I had to get it warm for Cindy last night. I'll go in the middle. Thanks. Appreciate it. Hi.
Hi, they're in the room.
Hello.
Wasn't on that end.
Yeah, shaking it up, there we go. So, as you could see, our budget was, basically very simple, not a lot, but we added, I don't even have it in front of me. So, looking at our request was $344,618. And it looks like the TA suggestion was, or recommendation is $345,170. So, any questions for us? I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you. As you can see, it's all separated. What the salary is the salary, the purchase services, we put $40,000 into that. We put in supplies, $6,000, and the other charges is what we spend on materials, which we figure out it's 19% of our operating budget.
What's in purchase services?
Purchase services is heat, electricity, remember that's what we cut last year, and it turned to be kind of a disaster, so we refunded that money was refunded to us.
But it worked out okay.
It worked out okay, everything's beautiful now.
Alright. I don't know if you or the TA should answer this. Any of the changes I see down here, description on the salaries is due to the new plan.
Yes.
So, okay.
Could I just make a comment, in terms, I'm Ruth Revere, I'm the chair of the trustees. This year, we're anticipating a transition on staffing. We have had a resignation from our assistant librarian, which is currently a 23-hour position, mostly by the choice of the employee. We do anticipate that we will be posting the library director over the next fiscal year, based on retirement. That's Carrie. So we are mindful of that. We're not sure what the market will bear in terms of hiring a qualified candidate for either position. We've had some internal discussions within the trustee board around should we raise the assistant director to a 40-hour position, which that is not included in our budget request currently. We do have a need we see around serving young people, young teens and young adults in the library. We don't currently focus a resource on that. But the vacancy for the assistant director is possibly an opportunity to expand into that, just as a thing we're thinking about, and whether we have the funds within the budget to do that. I know every time we come here, I say as the town approaches 10,000 residents, our requirements are more rigid from the Mass Board of Library Commissioners around the standards for a library director, which requires a master's degree, which typically is more expensive. And if we don't meet those requirements, we don't qualify for state aid from the library, which we do use to supplement our operating budget. So I guess those are things we're paying attention to for the next year. The other is, I guess, around our capital request, which I know isn't part of our operating budget, but this is 25 years in the building. There are some areas that are showing wear and tear. This room probably in particular in terms of carpeting, that was part of our request. So I don't know if I'm going on in areas not covered in this particular conversation, but in terms of the well-being of the library and our ability to meet the needs of the community, those are some things we're tracking. So I guess I appreciate the opportunity just to raise it to your attention.
We're gonna be sad to see you go whenever that may be, Carrie, but do you have any idea as far as an estimated salary for a library director under the new qualifications when we get to that 10,000?
I mean, there's a lot of flux, I think, in who's applying for library director jobs based on other things that are happening at the federal level and down into the state, so we don't know. But I mean, Carrie's been here for over 25 years and is making, what is it, like 85?
Or what did my, at
88,
43.
Thank you very much, Karen.
There we go.
So, you know, whether.
What level is that?
I'm I don't know, they just changed the
It's a
whole
grade
thing.
6 on the
Grade
new.
six?
It's a grade
Yeah.
6.
Okay.
So, I mean, typically when you hire a new employee, you might expect to start lower. We just don't know whether that will bear out if we find a candidate and then as we negotiate. So just want to say that.
You say you do not have an assistant director now?
I have one, yes.
Till
Which she'll be-
Till she's leaving at the end of February. I think she put her paperwork in and she is ready to join the retired group. She's been here a little longer than me, if you can believe that.
So are you currently going to be looking for someone to fill that spot at the 23 hours? Or are you thinking of filling it more?
I think it's what right now we can't afford to fill it more.
Okay,
And, you know, we might look at we don't have a lot of flexibility, but just putting a bookmark.
The reason we haven't actually pursued additional hours for that particular position is because she's been very happy with the hours that she was working. So she hadn't encouraged us to add any more, but I imagine filling the role might be a little easier if there were additional hours.
Carrie, do you know, so the assistant would be a grade 5?
Is she,
So
this is a new
you don't
thing
know.
now, so
I'm just wondering.
I haven't familiarized myself with the new,
I'm just wondering if the
Based
wiggle
on
room might be
Yes,
if she's at a
the
higher
assistant-
in
the
grade 5.
Grade 5.
If she's grade 5 in a step, not 1, I guess if she's beyond step 1 and you started her at 1 or started at 1, you might have a little wiggle room there.
Right.
Because the salary would be
Right.
lower.
right. How many steps are in this new thing? 10?
10.
Okay, all right.
But as Ruth was saying too, though, as we get closer to 10,000, we need to increase our hours, and there's a lot of things we need to do, and that we would probably want to have somebody who could help out more with the youth. So that the assistant is somebody that we would want to look at, maybe having more hours. But right now we can't.
We are currently open 40 hours, which is the requirement from the Mass Library Commissioners. But if we have to cut our hours based on funding, then it's what we talked about at the last year in terms of losing accreditation.
We don't have a lot of staff, so we talked about how many people to have at a time, right? How many staff do you have here?
may I ask you a question? In terms of your books being taken out of the library,
Circulation.
circulation, how has that gone over the last couple of years, and has your staff been able to deal with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're handling it, you know, sometimes if people have to wait in line to check their books out, they're fine with
Okay.
that. You know, we have to all wait in line, but we circulate a great many physical books, but we also circulate a lot of books on the online platform of Libby.
Oh. Okay.
We're very, very busy with that. We don't really know about that because they don't necessarily come into the library, but when their card expires or when there's a little snafu in the system, oh boy, we know about it. Because they call us and we're like, whoa, we haven't seen these people in forever. But people are still using the library, still reading.
Good.
I got 3 of Libby in my phone right now. Like, all I do is use Libby. But actually, I need a book today, so I have to go look for it before we leave.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask about your purchase services and supplies, so as you've said and you've noted here, typically you've got whatever funding requests that you have and you supplement with your state funds or your gift accounts. What would your request be, like, let me rephrase this. If you had your state funding and your gift accounts, available, what would your ideal use of those, or what can you use those
We-
monies
we can
for
use them for
versus
anything.
just,
We have, that's our discretion, what we use it for. We use a lot of it for paying staff at the end of the year when we run out of library aid money. We pay for books, additional books that we bought, that we had, that we purchased, that we didn't have the account for. And, a few years ago, I think we bought a new furnace and we did a couple other things. We make repairs on this building and we complete paying electric and gas bills and other kinds of bills that come over at my desk. I don't go to you folks and say, I need $10,000 to pay for this furnace. We just do it. We just use those funds to balance out our budget. We do it every year. And some years we spend under 10,000, but some years we spend close to $30,000 out of those accounts. I just backtracked to 22.
do you have other ideas or things for other programming or anything that you could use those rather than
Yes, we
those types
probably
of-
would have more programs and we probably would do more events. The programs and events cost money.
Right.
They cost a lot of money sometimes, so we would do more of that. We have our friends group that supplements, and I didn't even include them in any of this stuff. They pay for a lot of our summer programming and for a lot of the, performers that we have come.
I guess, I don't know if it's anything that would change the budget that's here, but there's something about the fact that they're utilizing gift money or state funds that should be ideally used for programming for the community, that they're using that to pay bills and for new furnaces. I would, at some point, really like to see this budget reflect what their needs are for operating the library, covering the utilities, and allow them to use those other funds to provide for the programming necessary for the community and increase that. Or if that's what can go towards increased hours for an assistant director, so you've got somebody else available for that team programming. There's just because they have access through their certification to some additional funds and some gift accounts, it's, to me, there's something not right that they're regularly using that for operating expenses, and that should come from.
So, heard, it is not unusual for libraries and other communities to have to use those state resources to offset operational costs. So I think in an ideal world, that would be the case. And hopefully as a community, we can work towards that. And hopefully as a state, we can work towards being able to adequately fund all of our departments so that, but yes, heard and
As I said, not
Yeah.
anything, for here, it's just, it's something that's been on my mind as we've been
Yeah.
talking through the budget for the last, year or so with everything that happened last year, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have,
No, it's okay, go ahead.
I have one last question. When I see either a big increase or a big decrease, it kind of raises a question for me. So I'm looking at library purchase services, which is down by 33%. And that's based on figure 26 budget.
That's the additional money that was reappropriated at special town meeting from the library articles that went to the purchase services, correct?
Right.
Right, but that was close to 60,000.
No,
So-
It wasn't originally.
It was
35 from the Warren article.
35,000 from and some change from the Warren articles, and then a little less than 10K from the,
So is this figure wrong?
no. I think that at this point, once that money got added in, you could see that I've spent 33% of it. But this is what, when did this?
Well, no, it was before that. In 25 you had 40, then it jumped to 60, back to 40. So I'm trying to figure out what happened in 26.
Because it went to 60, because what the math you folks did, the only line that you corrected my 5,200, my purchase services. But some of that money needed to be distributed into my 5,700 account,
Okay,
and I put 1,000 into my supply account.
okay,
Because I needed more money in those accounts, and
all right,
I, to comply with state requirements, I had to add more money to my materials budget.
all right.
So I distributed the money a little differently, with the blessing of my board, of course.
And and I also think that there was a directive to submit budget requests that level funded back to 25. So you'll see that the FY 26 number would have been higher, but if the ask to department heads was to level fund at 25, it would go back down to the 40,000. So Carrie gets a gold star for the for following directions.
So thank you.
The clarification was, I thought that was level services, not funding.
I'm sorry, level
Yes, it was
services.
level services.
So it should be more than 40,000, right? I mean, because you've got cost of living going all of the increases of things. I think that's where some of the
Yeah,
confusion is coming.
Can we talk a little bit about the capital outlay item with the funds coming from?
For the library.
Yeah.
So the building's 25 years old. The outside, needs some attention in terms of the fascia. And, we put in a request related to that and, power washing or, we're hoping we don't need to paint it, but, and then carpeting was our other big request. We use the space a lot, not only for the library, but for meetings and things. And, you'll notice a big rip over there in the corner, upstairs. The carpet,
Mm-hmm.
especially maybe in the children's area, gets a lot of traffic. So we had put in a request around updating the carpeting. We've done that, I think, for a few years, but the
lot of
funds haven't been available. But I think those are the two major ones. Typically, we do painting with support from the DPW or
And volunteers.
we work hard. We've had to replace a few toilets. That's not capital really. We just do that. But those are the two probably big areas.
have you put in requests to CIPC?
Yes.
Oh, yes, oh, yes.
I remember some of your requests, and unfortunately, the way the system works and the rating
I
system,
know.
Yeah.
it's the way the system works.
I know.
But I think you'll notice that what we did is they collected the form and said for every year that you applied that you didn't get it, you get extra credits.
Oh.
So that moves it up the system a little bit. I don't know where you are on it now, but it moves it up a little.
So is $12,000 gonna do all the carpeting, or is that what you need to do? Is that?
Was that your request?
I didn't
Well,
do
that's what I wanted to ask about, is because the 12,000 is new for FY 27. It wasn't there in 25 and 26.
Right.
So I was more interested in where
What you're
Where
gonna
did
use
that
it for?
come
I
from.
have no idea about that.
It's coming,
You
the
track
note
that back?
says it's coming from
It's coming from the
PEG.
PEG, but
So
is that
does
a new?
the people who have
that would go
that
right
account
into the
know
gift
that you're
account.
spending
That- okay.
$12,000?
So that's an agreement that we actually haven't solidified with cable at this point.
Okay, so this is not, is that why this is sort of in, well, no, that's not, but.
But if it's coming from PEG Access, and it's a gift account, so it shouldn't be part of the operating budget.
Right, correct.
No, so I think that's the shift that's being made. The rent that PEG Access was paying, $1,000 per month, was originally going into a gift account. And there's a move to have that, because as Carrie and I discussed in our little, the money is meant to offset the use of water and heat, electricity, and so it is more of an operational offset and not a gift offset. So showing it in the budget, it's still available to the library, it's still an opportunity for them to use those funds, but more in an operational capital building maintenance capacity rather than what it was traditionally considered a gift account.
So what you're saying is you added them up in general, the top line numbers, and now we're just putting it here. we added it to our revenue line at the top?
No, it never passed through our revenue.
Not in the
Right,
past,
gift
but if,
account?
now that you're adding this, now that you're,
I'm sorry?
Not in the past, no.
No, not in the past.
I understand that, but now that you're moving this to this capital outlay line, you're saying it can't go into a gift account, so it goes into the general fund and then is spent through this line.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I understood.
But would you use that for, I guess, let me go back to my question. Would you use that for rugs and stuff, or are you trying to get the CIPC to pay
Well,
for the
what,
rugs?
we just replaced a few toilets, that's what we'd use it for.
Okay.
When we replaced the furnace, that's what we used it for. When we have something that breaks, we fix it. We use,
Elevator,
yeah, the
sprinklers, all
elevator,
kinds of
any
things.
kind of thing that
Do you have an
happens.
idea how much it costs to fix all the rugs in here that you guys want?
I've done a couple of different things. I'm at like 75 cents a square foot now, I think. It's a lot, it's a lot.
Okay.
Does,
Just-
does any of that all have to go through procurement?
Yes,
It's
well,
just- this is-
it would, so I think the other part of the conversation is that a CIP or CIPC request would have to meet a certain criteria. And things like replacing toilets and that would not meet
They
that
wouldn't
criteria.
meet
So
that,
that's a
no.
really
Okay.
great use of those funds. Something like a rug replacement, depending upon the quote and where it falls on the threshold, would like, some procurement would have to be, whether it's under 35, over 50, you know, it depends on where it falls on that scale.
Okay.
30B would apply.
So when that agreement is not
With the cable commission?
set yet, do we know when that's?
I know Paul and the rest of the team's working on that.
We're still negotiating that contract with Charter Spectrum, and once that contract is in place, we'll be in a position where we can negotiate that agreement with the library trustees.
Don't be afraid to go up a little bit, because every time I turn around, my cable bill goes up, so
Yeah,
Right.
don't be afraid to,
no, we are negotiating strongly.
The only reason why I'm asking is because if it's not, what I'm hearing is this is not guaranteed right now. So essentially, if that does not happen, this goes away and they just don't have that 12,000 to fund this
so if
capital
that,
line items. That
so
what-
Darren's gonna be devil's advocate here. So if that 12,000 doesn't come in, they can find a new home.
cable.
Yeah,
I'm just looking about the numbers.
no, I'm looking at the numbers too.
If the
Either
top
you-
line's not there, we gotta remove
It's
this.
just, that just
It's
goes.
not- it doesn't
It's
work
not going
to-
to get refunded through.
I can't get an ice
other
cream if I
general
don't have
fund.
money, and they have an ice cream over there.
The amount of money that cable receives from Spectrum is based upon the number of people who have the video system. If you have just internet, you're not included.
I have video, I have the whole enchilada.
Okay.
My house glows, I have so much cable down there.
There could be more people like that, I can tell you, you know. Because I've seen the numbers and,
Is that so, well, I'm gonna be very strong advocate, if they don't pay their fair share, they can find a new home.
Well, that's a separate conversation.
Well, it's
I'm
part of
just
this
talking about
conversation, though, the
funding this
budget.
line item.
Well, funding the line item is all part of it, right? And if they don't wanna pay, no ticky, no talkie.
Well, I'll leave that to the.
Yeah.
Whoa,
town administrator
I'm giving her
And
some,
the library director.
On notice.
Yeah.
there's not enough tears and beers to last through this discussion.
I understand.
Alex or Leah, do you have any questions on the library?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd like to know
Sorry, I was
last
trying to ask a question before, and I think it was my AirPods. Going back to the salary piece, and Heather, sorry, I should know this, and I don't, and this isn't specific for the library, but for the conversation about increasing the assistant director's hours and or needing to increase the salary for the director position. I know we have talked about, I have really been pushing to have a category kind of under within the TA select board for other compensation that would be a bucket for these types of situations where we may need to hire adjust based on our number of hours of worked or qualifications, and also with union contracts, so that when we're talking about the budget like this and we have unsettled contracts that are still in negotiations, they're not necessarily able to go to their line item and figure that out directly. And I don't think it's made it into this iteration of the budget, but I don't remember off the top of my head. So I was just wondering if that would be an avenue with the conversation that the library provided a budget per the request, with the caveat that they may need to be hiring additional positions and the consideration of looking towards that 10,000 population, whether it happens, it won't apply for this upcoming fiscal year, but the year after.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. I don't believe it's in this FY '27 budget proposal. But we can talk about that a little bit more and see how we can work it in, at least as a placeholder, even if it's not funded. Even just adding it to the budget so that we're aware that we'd like to be able to fund it.
Thank you.
Alex, anything for you?
I have a quick question, follow-up on last night, next year, I think it was Alex that asked it. We were talking, it's minute, but we were talking about the fees for copiers and faxes and all that. And now that the copier is all sitting at town hall regarding the contract and the payment for it, we were curious, what is collected per year on these fees and what happens to those funds?
I generally go over a couple of times a year and give Nick or somebody in the office some money from copying machines.
$12,000, I
It's
thought.
it's probably about.
No, it's 15,000, I heard.
I'm
Four
gonna
times a
guess that
year.
it's under $400 a year, but we, 10 cents a copy, and the fax machine hasn't been working, but we have that as well, but we have, we have different fees, they're not outrageous.
Right, and like I said, it was just.
We're trying
hung over
to,
from last night.
equalize people here.
So is that what it is, 10 cents a copy?
Yep.
Color or? it's
Color
only
is
black and
20.
white. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have one more, I was looking at the Mass Library Board of Commissioners just today to become knowledgeable.
Mhm.
And I was looking at our criteria, because I also know that we need to take the last 3 budgets, appropriations, not the actuals, but the last 3 budgets, the average, and increase the next year budget by 2.5% in order to be eligible for state aid.
Correct.
But I'm also seeing that before 10,000 people, we only need to be, we only need to be open 25 hours a week, not the 40.
Correct.
That happens at 10,000.
Right.
We're
Which
trying to
what are we,
anticipate
15
that.
people away from that now?
But this,
Oh, I understand that you're talking about going, when we hit the 10,000, but it sounds like we're not planning on doing that this year, so.
Well,
And I was just,
the other day, we had it certified, and as of January 15th, 2026, we're at 9794. So we're knocking on the door, we're less 206 people away.
Right.
I believe it goes off the federal census.
Yeah, I think we answered that question that came up before.
We have been at 40 hours for a few years, and that's good. It's helpful for the community, it's helpful for everybody. We don't wanna go backwards,
could happen.
but we might have to. We have to do whatever the climate tells us to do.
That
But-
brings me, I'm sorry, go
Oh,
ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, but as long as we meet the accreditation standards, and I talked about this at town meeting, we're still part of the larger library system, our patrons can use other libraries, there's a lot of benefit to meeting the Mass Library Commissioner standards, so in the hours, we're ahead of it, on the rest of it, we meet it, and we're okay with that. But we're very mindful of what the level is that we have to hit. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We got answered.
So last year, I was over at a meeting, and then we went to the town meeting to get some more money for you.
Yes.
I just wanna be clear in my mind, you guys are gonna be good. If there's no surprises in here, there's no nothing that,
In this budget, you mean?
yes.
We meet the minimum requirement for.
But
You'll be able to keep the lights on and the heat on and the water.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we also still have some we got the state aid money,
All right.
and we also have gift money, so we are good, we'll take care of things.
And
We're
that's
just-
not reflected in here.
Right.
No.
Because we have to show the town meets a standard from the minimum appropriation.
I just
which
wanted
This
to-
does, yes.
Make everybody aware that we had a couple surprises last year that you didn't know or anticipate,
Right,
and we handled it. But as long as we're good this year, I'm
We are.
happy.
You don't want another August meeting.
No, and I don't,
Exactly, I agree.
I don't want Carrie mad at me again. All right,
all right,
No, I got a question.
okay, Tony.
So I know you said it a couple times, but I think I missed it. Back under the personnel
Mhm.
and the salary lines, what are the hours for each one of those?
Library aides,
Well, no,
Yeah.
starting with all of them,
the director works 40 hours,
okay?
the assistant director works 23 hours,
23?
23. The children's librarian works 40 hours. And then, I don't know, what have I got? I've got,
And there's only one each of those three.
Correct.
one each of us, yeah.
Okay, so then the aides
And then
are,
I have 5 library aides that work probably an average of about 3 or 4 hours a week.
Okay.
Mary works a few more than that. She works about 18 hours a week, 18 or 19, I think.
okay,
But we talked about staffing too. We've been discussing it in our meetings. Minimum staffing, we don't wanna work in this building with fewer than 2 people, and it is kind of a big building. We feel that probably 3 would make us a lot safer, but we do what we do. Okay? You guys good with us?
Anything else for the library?
I'm good.
okay.
I'm good, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very
Appreciate
much.
your time.
Can we do council on aging before I get here?
No, they're not tonight.
They're
They're
not
different, they're
No,
different.
not tonight.
Veteran Services.
Yeah.
I guess that's me.
Would you please go up and sit in the seat?
I
No,
will.
no.
Craning our neck.
Yeah, no, I just,
Well, somebody left their card.
Oh, that's Ruth.
Excuse me.
Is your credit cards in there?
Cash, better. Cash.
You're welcome.
Not
Nice to meet
traceable.
you. I wanna call you. Call me. Call me. So, this is not, where we have a new veterans agent, and this is an individual that comes with a lot of experience working in other communities, manages the veteran service allocations with the state. So I'm not expecting there to be any changes or I guess challenges with the management of this budget, despite the turnover. If there's any questions about the program or
Through the chair. Did the individual or did we require or ask for a certain number of hours in the town?
no, I think it's because of the number of veterans that we have that use the services. It is as needed basis. The individual will certainly is willing to come to Rutland and meet with veterans here as requested, but there is not a set
One of the
there's not a
concerns,
set schedule for that.
one of the concerns I have for the veterans in town is that I talked to them, and some of them didn't even know we had a veterans agent, because it wasn't out there. They really weren't in the populace, so to speak. And that's why I was hoping with somebody we hired, they would at least spend maybe 4 hours a month here, at least one day, when it's available for people who wanna walk in, and they know when they're available. If you look at all the veterans benefits there are, and they, there's a book this thick on it.
I know.
Most veterans don't know that, and if we're not here to make ourselves available, that concerns me for what we're paying somebody if he never gets a phone call for 6 months and doesn't do anything. So that's my concern of so if he doesn't wanna show up, then I think 3,900 is way too much. That's my concern.
I don't think that he doesn't wanna show up. I don't think that's what I'm saying at all.
Okay.
And we can certainly work with him on outreach and see what kind of outreach he's able to provide in other communities. Again, he's brand new to our community. I haven't had a chance to meet with him, but I will certainly do so and raise that concern and see what kind of outreach that we can do and what kind of office hours he might be able to have in town. My concern is that we establish office hours, and we aren't able to provide people for him to talk with. So, yes, Tamika.
Heather, Jen, is it okay if I speak for a sec? So when Karen
When she
Greenwood.
sees me floundering, this is what happened.
When Karen Greenwood was in the position, we never had a veteran that walked in off of the street looking for her. Typically, they would be referred through like Veterans Inc. or Veteran Services, and we would put them in connection with her. We do have a page on our website. There is a form there that veterans can fill out, and it goes directly to Scott. He has a town-issued email address. She very often met with people in the conference room. We do have a relationship with Veterans Inc. in Worcester, so they will let us know when there's different veteran-sponsored events, and we share those on our website. We share them on social media. We do events like adding names to the Veterans Memorial on the town commons. So I will say we've never received a complaint that veterans didn't feel that they had access to the agent if they wanted to. And in speaking with Karen, there's actually very few veterans in town that are eligible for the benefits that are offered.
But I think we can certainly speak with Scott and find out what kind of outreach he may want to do, and including potentially regular office hours.
I only mention it because if he's here, there's a chance that people will get to know him. But he could attend events. Like
Absolutely.
when we run all the events, we have everybody here. He could be here for a couple hours for that, for the people who walk through, who might have. I'm just thinking to make more visible is what I'm looking for our veterans.
Sure.
And, if you don't have to be disabled to qualify for benefits.
No.
But if you're a veteran and you think you have to be disabled, you'll never know if you don't talk to somebody. And that's my concern to reaching out to them.
And I think even if you don't qualify for benefits, there's the outreach and just having someone to talk to that knows about the experiences that you're having is a good resource. And I will connect with Scott and let him know that we'd like to include him even in department head meetings and other opportunities where we as a staff can get to know him so that we're able to make connections as.
Yeah, I don't
As
want to
we-
overburden the guy, but
No.
I I need some visibility.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
Yeah.
hearing from the veterans I
Okay.
talk to, so.
thank you.
Okay.
What's the services other charge? What comes out of that typically?
I think if there was a mailing or an event or supplies that were needed, I can't, what would
Mileage
Karen have used
reimbursement.
that for?
Mileage reimbursement.
Mileage reimbursement, miscellaneous.
Okay.
Just that if a charge was to come up, we'd wanna make sure we had an appropriation for it.
Okay, so the 500, the $35 actuals, we just wanna make sure that we have a minimum amount just to ensure
Right,
that we're covered
right,
for
right.
something.
Rather than
Rather than
have an expense occur and be presented with an invoice and then have to scramble to find an appropriation.
And then the benefits, it's noted here, that's actually gonna be reevaluated in the March timeframe to see, so that number is likely to change.
Yes.
The benefits get reimbursed by the state, is that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is that-
well, a portion of them do.
What's the portion?
I think it depends on the exemption that they qualify for.
Okay.
I can get some more information on the specifics of that, but I believe it's based on what level of exemption.
What, I wanted to ask about the services supplies. That's got a big increase. I thought Harry would ask that with his big numbers he talked about earlier.
That's just back to that's following the guidance, just level service from FY '25.
Is fine.
But the last couple of years, I remember Karen saying that she was putting money in because based on the actual requests and the actual numbers that she had, or, you know, work that she was doing, that's what she based the numbers on.
What hits that account, do you know?
I'm gonna have to ask Tamika, what would,
Count, which
the
line is it?
supplies?
That I don't know, to be honest with you.
Would there be events that would be held? Coffee hours?
The
You know,
flags.
sometimes she,
The f- oh,
oh,
the
the
flags.
flags, thank you.
Oh.
Yes, yes, she sets aside money for the flags.
Yes.
That are used for things like Veterans Day, Memorial Day, sometimes if a flag needs to be replaced.
Are we able to procure those through the, through Worcester's district, so we get the?
Yes, she
We get
had a
the-
connection
Yeah.
that she would get them, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you, Nick.
It takes a team.
I know that she helped us out at the cemetery with flags.
Yeah, that's
what that was for.
I think that's what that is. Yeah,
Markers and stuff like that.
yeah.
Oh, thank you,
The
that's the other
brass
thing.
markers for the.
Thank you, when
for
they
the
do the
veterans.
nameplates on the veterans, cause each year she checks to see if there's anybody that's eligible.
Yeah,
And that's how she pays for them,
Yeah.
is through that account.
She comes
Cause I
down
remember
and
she had
helps us out
just
with
recently
great
submitted some
markers.
invoices for them.
New ones, or if we have someone that is different. Does anyone else have anything for veteran services?
There, Alex, anything for you?
Good here.
I'm all set, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Veteran.
All right.
So we have the Board of Health.
No, they're not here. Oh, yeah, they had a last minute cancellation just due
Okay.
to some conflicts.
So then we just got
So we rescheduled.
recreation.
So we've got Karina and Sarah.
All right.
Is that gonna be moving it to our next meeting? The Board of
Two of the
Health?
We'll have
nicest
to
people we have in
work with
town.
them.
We're waiting to hear back from them on what date works, so once we know, we'll let you guys know and we'll update the schedule.
Schedule.
Yep.
So I'll start with the recreation revolving fund. So for, let's see, FY '27, I don't think we don't have too many changes. We continue to kind of run the same sorts of programs, things kind of shift as far as whether we're running a craft club or a science club one year to the next, but basically we are doing after school programs, summer camp, of course, the swimming pool, basketball leagues for youth and adults, some other miscellaneous sports programs, clinics and whatnot, and some summer programs that we added last year that have been very successful. So we're kind of looking at kind of just continuing on the path we've been on, which has been pretty successful. Are there any questions?
Your other expenses are lower than FY '25. You're still comfortable with that 160?
That number was calculated for us, so
Okay,
that kind of is what it is.
it is what, okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask what the indirect expenses includes?
So that would be, like retirement benefits, any sort of, I don't take insurance personally, but
That goes for
Thank you.
insurance, that goes for Medicare, that goes for their retirement. Yeah, those three.
thank you.
Does anybody else take insurance on the staff? Or rec?
No, all of my staff, 90% of my staff are like part-time seasonal, so they just work. And then the rest of them are like contracted instructors, so no.
So we don't have any retirement or anything like that that we need to be,
No, because they're all part-time, they don't qualify for Worcester Regional Retirement or any insurance benefits.
even over the summer?
I'm sorry?
Is it because they're seasonal over the summer that they don't,
Correct.
because they
Most
definitely
of
work
them
more than
are not even
17
out of high
hours in the
school.
summer?
Yeah.
There's a lot of
So the
older adults
qualification
that work
for
over the
Worcester
summer.
Regional, you need to work, I believe it's 1,040 hours
Okay.
within a given year.
So it's the hours, okay,
Correct.
for the year.
And you have to be a regular, full-time, seasonal wouldn't qualify to even join.
And so maybe then to you, Nick, my question is what kind, I've never seen an agreement, I don't know if there's an agreement between, for the indirect charges, that if somebody were to replace you someday that did take benefits, that's an agreement that's written, it's not a percentage, forgive me, this is my first time doing.
In regards to what's deducted for the retirement?
To what the indirects are, so is there a written agreement
So
between
it's,
the recreation and the town for this indirect, or is it just an understanding?
it's an understanding, so the way that's calculated is you take the assessment that's given to the town from Worcester Regional, and they tell you how many active employees you have. From there, that gives you a percentage of what portion of your assessments from your active employees. We then look at how many of those active employees from recreation and safe place fit into that active employee roster. With them, it's just the two of them. We look at what's been deducted from their pay for the prior fiscal year that they've contributed towards the pension system. And that gives us sort of a figure to charge them for an indirect that the pension system's charging the town. And that's how that's figured out. What's deducted from them is set by Worcester Regional, essentially PEREC. It's the 9% if they're under 30,000. That's non-negotiable. That can't be increased or decreased. And if they make above that 30,000, it's additional too. But there's no written agreement to answer your question.
Okay, and so the state taxes or the FICA or any of that's being deducted, that there's an employee and a employer that's being taken out?
That's all determined by the employee and what they want.
Because people are eligible for Social Security now, it's not the same though.
The town
None
doesn't
of that is
deduct
taken
social
out.
security, no.
Okay.
You
just-
You in the retirement plan?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Glad for that.
And their part-time employees contribute to OBRA, which is mandatory by the state, rather than the pension system.
28.
Okay, so 28 is what, and what level are you at?
6.
I'm not sure, to be honest, on the new system, I don't recall.
Yeah, that's-
Sorry.
we just got it today, so that's why.
They're both grade 6.
Thank you.
Question. I'm looking through the years and it looks like you've done a really good job of trying not to get into the hole, so to speak, or any
No.
particular year. not do what you need to do. But I have a question. In most of the years, you've come away with more money from the revenue than what the expenses were,
Correct.
which leaves you with 225 in the fund balance. Is there something in particular you're looking to do with that? I mean, almost $250,000 is quite a bit. That's why I'm asking.
So the fund balance at this point in the year is a little deceiving because on June 30th, we have sold all of our pool passes. We've had all of our summer campers pay for their summer camp weeks. And then we expend a lot of that over the next few months, paying staff, buying supplies, running the pool. So it's not actually, I think the revolving fund balance right now is probably about 150,000. So, you know, that it's truly revolving. So we're constantly taking money in and paying money out to instructors and whatnot. And then like last year this fiscal year, we spent $15,000 to acid wash and repair some of the pool plaster. The year before that, we spent $11,000 to replace the large pool pump. Before that, it was the small pool pump. This year, we'll probably have to have our pool filter service. So that's about it was $8,000 8 years ago. So it's probably, 10 or 12 this year. It just needs to be done periodically. So we're just kind of, and then.
You're gonna have some expense because there was a river running down Palmagussit Road there a couple weeks ago.
Yes,
So
there
you're
was.
gonna get bit by
It was an
something there.
iceberg, actually.
Yeah, well, it
Yeah.
turned into an iceberg.
Yes,
but-
yes, yeah.
So there's gonna,
If I may, I think that when you're looking at revolving funds, it's important to realize that you're looking at a snapshot in time. That balance is what the snapshot was on that particular day, at that particular month, and where they are in their cycle. Because that balance can drop within a month or two as soon as they're up and running for whatever their next program season is. You just catch what you have in front of you is what you're capturing at a upswing in their annual revolving cycle.
Yeah. So if I were to say, like, if you added up, I'll be here 10 years in April, so, we've generated a surplus every year except 2020 when we couldn't run any programs for an entire year. We've generated a surplus every year. So if you added up all those surpluses, that's probably what we have, free and clear that aren't tied up in instructor payments that have to go out at the end of the program and things like that. So yes, we do generate a surplus, but we also put a lot of money into running the pool,
fixing the pool.
fixing the pool.
And as I notice here, that amount of money has pretty been stable throughout. It's not like you're raking in 50 grand one year to add to it or anything.
Right.
You're pretty stable in
Yeah,
what you do there.
Yeah, it has become very stable, which I've had in mind too, since I started here, and things were on shaky ground, and were we even gonna be able to open the pool that summer? So I really tried to kind of make sure that we are stable and we're planning for things that need to be replaced and emergencies that come up, like the situation last week, which, it was a piece of plastic that broke. It was like a $10 piece of plastic, but yeah.
How many-
Years worth of work.
So you don't really have anything for major projects planned with the money?
Not
Other
as-
than just reoccurring maintenance stuff that comes up with what you do?
Exactly.
Okay.
And periodically, we do put money into, like the pickleball courts over at Central Tree will take money and kind of make improvements that benefit the town, the ice rink, things like that, that don't generate any revenue, but do, make life better here.
How many people signed up for the pool program?
Last year, we had about almost 700 members.
Okay, and are they all from town?
No. We bring in a lot of out-of-town visitors, which is nice because they go to Rutland Marketplace and buy lunch, or they go to the pizza place, hopefully comes back, get pizza, Dunkin' Donuts, patronize local businesses,
Do out-of-towners pay more or different price than Townspeople.
They do for day passes, but not for regular season passes.
Okay.
So,
Another 1 minute. So what percentage of the 700 are townspeople and what percentage would you
That's
guess?
a great question. I would probably say season pass holders.
Yeah,
What percentage?
however you wanna say, yeah.
I would guess probably about 75% is
Are townspeople.
townspeople. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so you-
it's
so
mostly
you're doing what we wanna do, right? I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and the people that come from out of town, like, they spend lots of money at the snack shack, they, you know, they,
That's what I'm trying to say is we're 75% of them are, we're helping our town.
yeah, oh yeah,
Right, so-
absolutely, yeah. It's a balance, like, keeping the money coming in to support the program, but also having it available to people that live here. So,
Is there a limit?
we're limited by how many people visit per day, so we or not per day, but at a time, so our capacity is 120 people.
In the gate?
Like inside the pool area.
Okay, so you limit in and out at 120.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if it gets, I mean, honestly, like, we would never let it get that crowded. You know, if we get to the point where it's a busy, hot day and there's a lot of people coming in, members will stop selling day passes for that day so that we don't ever have to turn a pass holder away.
Okay.
So,
Under the other expenses line, now, those numbers over the last 2 or 3 years, it kind of went up and down. Is there any reason that they had fluctuations like that, any specific?
for
things?
other charges,
Recreation, other expenses, yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's the assessment that comes from the treasurer's office, so I wouldn't, I don't
Oh,
I don't have
okay, all right.
I don't have a reasoning for why it fluctuates to that point. They kind of tell us what the bill is and we pay
I
it.
thought that was
Kind of
the
deal.
indirect expenses.
It's called other charges and expenses.
So you're saying,
Well, no, this other expenses is under supplies. The
Oh,
one I'm
yeah,
talking
that's what I was
about.
gonna say.
Oh,
I
I'm
thought he
sorry.
said it was indirect. I'm like,
I'm
wait a minute.
sorry, I was looking all the way on the left. Okay, other expenses. Could you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Well, the last 2 or 3 years, 4 years, it's going up and down quite substantially.
It has a lot to do with what kinds of programs are kind of going off in that time period. Instructor contracted programs are more expensive because we're paying them a percentage of what comes in. So it's, you know, sometimes we have, like last year, we had a ton of contracted instructor programs. So we have great registration software that makes it really easy to sign kids up for programs and have them pay and register and everything, and the instructors can log on and like see their class list and everything, so that's kind of grown. We're taking more money in, but we're also spending more money, like greater percentage.
So for the public, that someone may be listening, recreation is totally self-funded.
Correct.
Gotta scream that out loud, everyone.
We are totally self-funded.
But I do have a question to that, so I was just thinking, as you were talking about the water, so the pool needs water, where does that come from, and the electricity and the sewer, the
That's
trash
all-
removal?
All from the revolving fund.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
They put a meter right on a hydrant when they fill them and they bill them accordingly, is what I was told the other day.
Oh, like last year when we
Yeah.
needed to add water to the
Yeah.
pool? Yes, they put a meter on that and billed us through water sewer.
Did I hear that, I know you just did the repairs that you mentioned to the pool last summer, that we might actually need to resurface?
The pool, yes, the
That's a
pool,
capital expense?
yeah, the pool is due to be resurfaced. It was last done in 2014, so before I was here. The surface hasn't held up as long as it probably should have. I've been told by contractors that probably has to do with the way it was handled when it was curing, so it might not have had the chemicals that it needed to cure properly under the water, so it's kind of like letting go in a lot of places. Before its time, it's on the edge of like its expected lifespan, but not, it should have lasted longer. So we've been kind of like patching it, trying to get through but it will definitely need resources.
Is that something that would be a capital request, or would there be any contribution from the revolving fund for?
That would definitely be a capital request. When it was done in 2014, I looked it up and it cost about $25,000. So I was, I put it into an inflation calculator and figured, we could probably absorb most of the cost of it. And then when I got quotes last summer, it was significantly more than we were thinking. So I did put in a capital request for that. But it's an important asset for the town. It brings in a lot of, like I said, a lot of visitors from out of town. It's a great resource for townspeople. Swimming lessons are extremely important. Learning to swim is a passion of mine. Having been a YMCA girl and Girl Scout camp for a really long time. And then just youth employment. I tell people like youth employment is our biggest, probably our biggest program. And we employ, many teenagers and college students at the pool in summer camp, so.
So the pool, how old is the pool as we see it now? Cause back in the day, it was a little.
Well, it was 12 feet deep when I was growing up in
It
Rutland.
was.
So it's not that deep now.
And they had a great diving board back in the
It
day.
did, it had a great diving board. Now it's a pool inside a pool. I'm not sure. I wanna say the 90s. I don't know if, Tamika, you have any idea in all your archives of knowledge.
I do not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I wanna say the 90s. It was, somebody fundraised and got the pool reopened, but I'm not positive. That's hearsay.
Question?
Sure.
Do you give out, quote, free scholarships to certain students? Do you give back to the community?
We don't have an official scholarship program because I don't have a committee to vote on scholarships or anything like that. However, I do take hardship requests, so people can definitely reach out to me, and we do offer hardship accommodations when needed, so.
And that number's included in here for whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Does anyone have anything else for them? I think they're doing a great job. with that
Leah or
part.
Alex, we still gotta do safe place, but
Yeah, no,
anything
for recreation.
For recreation, Leah or Alex?
All set, thank you.
I'm all set, thank you.
Okay, my FY '27 budget for Safe Place is similar to the last few years. Obviously, there's an increase in salary and wages due to the wage classification plan that changed. A slight increase in my expense line that goes up every year. The cost of everything is just crazy. And then my indirect costs are what we're told by Nick's office. And then this year, for the past 4 years, we've received a federal stabilization grant that came out after COVID, and it has continued miraculously. It's still going on. So we receive about $13,000 a month split between the two programs. There are certain restrictions where we can spend it. We spent a huge portion of it 2 years ago to redo the playground over at Naquag, and we are using the rest of it and some of the remaining money I have in the revolving fund to redo the playground over at Memorial Field, which hopefully will start in April, May. So, yes, it's finally ordered. Yeah.
See, that's
Yeah.
$13,000 a month?
A month. It's varied over the years. When it first started, it was about 4,000 per program, so 8,000. Then it dropped drastically at one point to like 2,000, and now it's up to, I think it's right around 13,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like 6,300 a program.
And that's all through your work?
That's
that you've
through like
done?
us being licensed and following certain regulations and requirements of the state, yeah.
So you're able to benefit the community, obviously,
Yes.
you know, through the programs that you guys
Right.
use as well, but.
Yep. But it's nice to be able to like
Community
do,
at large.
right, something that everybody can enjoy, not just the families that utilize Safe Place and Clubhouse.
So how many people enroll in Safe Place?
So we are allowed to have 52 kids at a time, so in the morning and in the afternoon at both locations based on licensing regulations. So, but I probably have,
52 each?
yeah, so 52 at Naquag, 52 at Glenwood.
Okay. I know
But we
it's
have
great.
many more kids than that enrolled because we do offer flexible enrollment, so they don't have to come 5 days a week. So we have some families that come 2 days and other that comes 3, and they kind of take up that one slot.
I know it's pretty busy over there.
It's, yeah,
I was
it's
at
very busy.
Naquag the
Yeah.
other day, and I was in there early, and it was like, whoo.
Yeah, yep. It is, I mean, working parents, that you can't drop your kids off at 8:55 and make it to work out of town, it's not happening, so.
Make it out of Rutland, you just can't
Yes,
make it.
yeah, you better hope you work like in Rutland or right on the town line.
Rutland's not the problem.
In some mornings, you can't make it out of Rutland because of the traffic, so.
Sarah, how many hours do you work a week?
35.
35. And how many, what are your aides, similar to what she said?
So I have one site coordinator at each program, they are right around 19. I probably have 8 group leaders that are anywhere between 10 and 16 or 17 hours a week. And then most of my high school kids are 6 to 8, maybe 6 to 10. There's 13 of them in total.
Great, thank you.
Question?
Sure.
Your revenue actual has been fairly consistent, right? Going up probably based on inflation and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
This year, it looks like if it comes out, you're gonna have an extra $17,000 roughly to put into your ending fund balance. Are you expecting to go up in the rates, or why would that occur?
So I kind of, when I decide what my revenue is gonna be, I usually am like a little conservative with it. You never know with the economy today. I anticipate being full or having a decent number of kids, but some years you don't. But we have drop-in care also where families can utilize it on an as-needed basis. So that will increase that revenue if families take that offer and use it, which they have a lot in the past few years.
Okay. So that 17 may or may not occur, you're saying?
It probably will. I've already taken in more than half of what I anticipated my revenue would be, and I still have 5 more months left of the school year, so.
Like we did with recreation, at one point during the year, what's the lowest balance you would have? Because you're waiting for all the stuff to come in.
So mine is a little different than hers. My family's paid on a monthly basis. So
Okay.
right around between the 1st and the 10th of every month, I'm getting their tuition for the month.
Okay.
So I can't anticipate going any lower, probably than like 150,000 minimum, probably more than, we would have more than that in the account. If
So-
she takes all her money in at once and then expends it later, where mine is continuously coming in and being expended.
So does Safe Place, like recreation, have capital expenses or do anything like that?
Not really. I mean, the playground, but we paid for that out of a grant. Anything, we're in the schools, so I guess if there was an issue in the schools, it would either fall on the schools or the town to take care of that.
They need a
I
new
didn't
boiler.
ask recreation.
Yeah.
At what point do you feel you should use some of that money to give back to the people who are on Safe Place for a discount or anything?
So-
When it gets to be $500,000 or what?
No, well, we're gonna use some of that money for that playground over at Memorial Fields, which was
Okay.
part of the reason we haven't spent it. We
Okay.
used some for that one. We will use that one. We do offer sibling discounts. We do hardship scholarships, like Karina did say, for families that are struggling.
Okay.
It would be nice to spend more money on more stuff, but we don't have anywhere to put that stuff, so that really does make it hard.
So you two might be looking for a building somewhere.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
I wouldn't say no.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anyone on the finance committee have anything else?
Alex or Leah, anything for Safe Place?
I'm okay, thank you.
Keep up the good work, will you?
Thank you so much.
Do you have any surprises coming in? No. Does anyone have anything else? you wanna talk about?
I have one question for Heather. Heather? Yes. On the library, on the, I don't wanna call it the cut budget, but it's called TA balanced. On the library, I noticed the children's librarian is 0, and you've increased the aides wages. That's to make sure that we have the 2 people in the building at all times. That's what I just wanted to make sure of, right?
Okay. Does anyone have anything else related to budgets
Nothing
or?
for me.
Alex or Leah, anything else budget related for tonight?
Good here. I'm all set. Thank you.
I'm all set, thanks.
Karen, did you bring the meeting to order? Do we have a motion to adjourn? Finance committee,
So moved.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Beat you to it.
Anything else? Here, Paul.
No, nothing.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Motion is second, we'll do roll call. Harry,
aye.
Aye.
Paul, Leah,
Whitman, aye.
Alex,
Know what I?
and Ledger, aye. Adjourned at 7.